Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
So for the first 10 seconds, and just 10 seconds, this is going to be just the quick little check-in. So it's our little Tai Chi rotate and shrug the shoulders. So keep your head forward, rotate your ribs and your shoulders, give a little shrug, and then just notice how does your head and your neck feel. And if your head, your neck, or your shoulders are feeling a little bit temperamental, you're going to stick with just this movement. But if everything's feeling good, now you're going to take it into some really nice vigorous twists. So you're going to step your feet a little bit wider, but you're going to let your arms spaghetti and kind of thump against your sides, thump against your hips, thump against your torso. So wherever your hands land, but kind of let them be a little bit loose so that they hit with a nice vigorous thump. And then do the rest of your check-in here. How is your back feeling? How does your energy level seem? Are you getting enough rest? Have you been eating nourishing foods? Nourishing food to me sometimes is blueberry pie. So just saying. 20 seconds left. All right, now we're going to take hands behind the head. Step your feet as wide as you like. Hip hinge, come to that halfway point, and then come back up. And then all we want to do here is find that little bit of intention of our hands connected to the back of our head. So even as we bend forward, we want to feel like our head is pressing into our hands. Our hands are creating a little bit of a resistance, and then push your butt back, hip hinge or hinge from your waist. Keep a little bit of a micro bend in your knees so that we're not pulling against the hamstring muscles too much. Notice how your back feels here. Notice how your shoulders feel. "20 seconds left. And then we are doing a repeater today, but usually we do a set of 3 and then repeat that 3 times and then another set of 3 and repeat that. But today we're going to switch it up just a little bit and do all 6 and repeat all 6 3 times. All right, now hands are going to come to the hips. Step your feet as wide as you like and draw some big giant circles with your hips, just circling in one direction for about 30 seconds. And then as you're doing this work here, kind of tune in, notice how do your knees feel? How do your feet feel? How do your ankles feel? All right, when you're ready, reverse directions, go the other way. Ten seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, our first move that we're going to do is going to be a prone position. So we're going to come down onto our belly, and it's going to be opposite hand, opposite foot Supermans. Whether or not you lift your head up off the ground is going to be what feels good to you. So we're going to come down into that belly down position. Arms are going to be up and overhead. Forehead either is going to stay connected to the ground, or you're going to lift your head with your arms. So you're going to see, where does your back feel the strongest? And that's the work that you're going to do. Opposite hand, opposite foot are going to lift up, lower down, and then switch to the other side. So we're going to alternate between the two sides. And then whether your head lifts or stays connected to the ground, that's just where do you feel the strongest. For me personally, I find that if I lift my head, I can definitely feel my back muscles get a little bit more engaged. And I do feel like I'm getting a little bit more challenging work by lifting my head with, but you might find that keeping your head down is a little bit more challenging. So go to the place that feels the most beneficial to you this morning. And I like a little bit of reach and energy out through my fingertips, out through my toes. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Now we're coming up to a plank position. It's going to be 20 seconds of a belly down facing plank and then 20 seconds side plank one way, 20 seconds side plank the other way. So you're going to choose your variation of plank, knees down or knees lifted, totally up to you. But we've got 20 seconds here. We want to feel a little bit of squeeze in our butt, a little bit of broadness in our shoulders. 10 more seconds here. When you switch to your side plank, you can go knee down or knee lifted. That's going to be totally up to you. But when you're ready, switch to one side. Arm can be raised up towards the sky. Hand can be on the hip. Anything that makes you feel nice and stable. Five more seconds on this side. All right, when you're ready, pass through center, take it over to the other side. Same thing here. You can go knee down. One shoulder might be different than the other. Arm up to the sky, hand on the hip, whatever makes you feel nice and stable. We got 10 seconds left. You got this. And time, nicely done. Okay, come down into a tabletop position, and then we're gonna move right into our bird dogs. Now, if you want to, grab some light hand weights or grab your theraband. If you go theraband, you're gonna keep little fists and you're gonna hold the arms in a little bit of a tight configuration. If you're going with your hand weights, you're gonna keep your knuckles tucked down. You're gonna slide the opposite hand, opposite foot out and away from each other, and then switch to the other side. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take this work at your pace. And now we're going to watch our head posture here. So watch your chin, feel like it's double tucked so that you're almost imagine that you're trying to pull your nose away from the ground. Yes, nice job. You're already halfway there. Now, if this full bird dog doesn't feel like you're the place you want to be this morning, you do have the option to just slide your limbs out, but keep them connected to the ground. So you always have versions and variations that will make sense to any work that you're doing, all things being considered. So you might have a day where tabletop doesn't feel good, so you go light, but other positions feel really great and you go pretty hard on those ones. 5 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, we're spinning around onto our backside, taking it right into our hip bridges. Now, if you want to use your theraband, you're gonna put it across your hip points and pin it down, or you're gonna take your hand weights with you, load your hand weights up at your hip points, and away we go. Lift your butt up, squeeze your glutes, lower with control. The squeeze of the glutes is where it's at. So as you lift up, so you can pause at the top just for a moment, squeeze those butt cheeks together, and then lower with control. You're already halfway there. And you know, for all of my hip health friends or pelvic floor, people who are working on their pelvic floor health, that exhale as you lift up and the inhale as you lower down is the way to keep that nice even pressure on the pelvic floor and the diaphragm and the belly. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your weights off to the side. 20 seconds of crunches in the center, 20 seconds oblique crunch one side, 20 seconds oblique crunch to the other side. So legs in the center to start, curl up and crunch, lower with control. Hands behind the head, hands alongside your hips, just whatever feels good. We want to feel like the abdominal muscles are pulling down towards the spine. And I like that exhale as I crunch up and the inhale to release. All right, drop your knees over to one side. And then, so I've got my legs over to the right. So right hand's gonna go to the side of the belly, left hand behind my head. And now we're doing that little oblique crunch. So we're just crunching up at the side body, lowering with control. We got 20 seconds of work here. Same principles apply. I like that little exhale as I crunch up, inhale as I release. All right, drop those knees over to the other side, switch your hand placement. So now left hand to the side of the belly, right hand behind the head, crunch up, lower down. We got 20 seconds on this side. And time. Awesome. Okay, now we're coming back through center into our reverse tabletop position, and we're taking it into a dead bug, but the variation is going to be a fire hydrant with a chest fly. So opposite hand, opposite foot. So my left arm, right leg are going to drop out to the side, come back in with control. Left leg, right arm are going to drop out to the side, come back in with control. For some of us, it's going to feel a little bit better to have the belly button pressing down towards the spine. For some of us, it's going to feel a little bit better to have the natural curve of our back. And for some of us, it's going to feel a little bit stronger to curl up the head, neck, and chest just a little bit. So find that place where your core feels the strongest, where you can move with control. As your arms and leg move out and away, the other two limbs are going to stay as steady and stable as they can. You're already halfway there. And time. Nicely done. Okay, that's our first set. Now we're flipping it around back onto our belly and taking it into our Supermans. So if your Supermans were not challenging enough for you, you're going to take your hand weights with you so that you can add just that little extra bit of resistance. So flip around onto your belly, hand weights or no hand weights, that's totally up to you. I find personally, I get plenty of good work without my hand weights. So I never like to use them on my Supermans, but you do what you like best. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take that work at your pace. Opposite hand, opposite leg lift up, and then you choose your own adventure here. Do you like to keep your head lifted, or does it feel better to keep your forehead connected to the ground? And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're coming up to our plank position. First 20 seconds, plank in the down prone position, belly facing down. No side plank, but you can go knees down if knees down feels like the way to go. Get a little squeeze in your butt. Get a little broadness in your shoulders and then just notice your breath here. Can you breathe in and out through your nose? All right, take it to one side, find your side plank, knee down, hand up, hand to the hip, anything that feels good, nice and strong and stable. All right, take it through center, flip over to the other side. And time, nicely done. Okay, take it down into your tabletop position, moving right into our bird dogs. Loaded or unloaded, totally up to you. Personally, I like a load on this one. So load up your weights, slide opposite leg and arm out and away from each other. You can keep it on the ground or you can float it up. That'll be totally up to you. But we are going to watch our head posture. So we want to make sure that our chin is double tucked, like you're pulling your nose away from the ground. So we should feel that little bit of sense of squeeze or length in the back of the neck. Nice job. Ten seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're flipping it over onto our backside, back to our hip bridges. Any little add-ons here that you might like. So maybe you take your looping resistance band, put it around your thighs or around underneath your knee joint, grab your hand weights, grab your theraband, anything that will get you that little extra if that's what you're looking for. Load up your hip points and away we go. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, lower with control. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at the depth and pace that makes the most sense to you right now. And time. Beautiful. Okay, if you've got your weights loaded up on your hip points, set them off to the side, and then we're moving right into our crunches. 20 seconds, staying in the center, crunching up, lowering down. We're going to think about pulling the abdominal muscles down as we curl up. Hands wherever you like them the best. So either you can slide the hands up, curl like you're reaching towards your heels, hands behind the head, or just fingers touching the side of your head, whatever feels the best to you. All right, now drop your knees over to one side, take it into those oblique crunches. All right, and then when you're ready, drop your knees over to the other side, oblique crunches the other way. And time. Beautiful. Okay, bring it back to center, grab your hand weights, and now we're taking it into that dead bug with the reverse fire hydrant and the chest fly. So legs up in that reverse table, arms up and overhead. Opposite hand, opposite foot are going to move out and away from each other. Come back through center, switch to the other side, come back through center. Nice, slow, controlled movement here. Focus on finding that strength in your center. Keeping those limbs that are staying in center nice and stable if you can. "12 seconds left." And time. Beautiful. Okay, that is round 2. Now we're moving on to round 3. So flip it on over back to our Supermans and then ask yourself, do you want to load up for this last round, or have you had enough of those and then you want to go with a lighter position? So loaded or unloaded, totally up to you. Arms up and out in front of you, forehead to the ground or forehead lifts with the move. Totally what's the strongest in your body. Lift up and out. Lower with control, switch to the other side, lower with control. And I like to reach through my toes and reach through my fingers as I lengthen and lift up, and then lengthen as you lower down. "20 seconds left." And time. Nicely done. Okay, take it up to your high plank position, or maybe you feel like an elbows and forearms plank would do you at this point. So come to the planking position that makes the most sense to you. 20 seconds in that plank position, facing down. Broaden your shoulders, squeeze your butt, get nice and firm through the back of your body. All right, when you're ready, flip to one side. You can go knee down, elbow and forearm down, or stay in that high side plank position. Totally up to you. Where do you feel the strongest? Okay, when you're ready, flip it over to the other side. One side might be different from the other. Your shoulder might act a little differently on one side compared to the other. So make sure that you always take care of the side that you're working on. Nicely done. Okay, take it down into your tabletop position, moving right into our loaded bird dog. So grab your hand weights if you want to, or your TheraBand. Create a little bit of resistance as you lengthen out, opposite hand, opposite foot, bring it back in, switch to the other side. We're gonna watch that head posture last round here. So make sure you're keeping your nice integrity, double tuck the chin, nice broadness in the shoulders. Beautiful, you guys look awesome, nice job. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're flipping it over. Our last round of hip bridges. So any extra add-ons that you want here, load up with your hand weights, load up with your looping resistance band, load up with your theraband, maybe do all three. That will be totally up to you. Come down onto your back. And then for this last round, how you position your feet. Maybe you walk them a slight bit wider. Maybe you take them at hip width distance apart. Also totally up to you. But it's our last minute work with our hip bridges. So lift up, squeeze the glutes, lower with control. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Twenty seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your weights off to the side if you're holding on to them, taking it right into our crunches. We got 20 seconds of work here. Curling up, lowering down. If you like working with the breath, it's that exhale as you crunch up, inhale as you release. We got 20 seconds of work here. Take a glance at those abdominal muscles. We want to make sure that they're drawing down towards the spine, not doming up in a little triangle. So focus on pulling the abdominal muscles down as you crunch up. All right, when you're ready, drop your knees over to one side, take it into your oblique crunches. All right, and then when you're ready, drop those knees over to the other side, switch your side, and then back to those oblique crunches. 'And time. Beautiful. Okay, bring it back through center. Grab your hand weights. That's that last set of our dead bug with the reverse fire hydrants and the chest fly. We got 1 minute on the clock. Ask yourself if you feel like using your hand weights at this point, or has that become too much? After you do 3 rounds, it might feel fatiguing. So make sure that you're going where you feel the strongest. Five seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, roll your way up to a seated position. Once you're up in your seated position, we're going to go with a little bit of a what I like to call our ragdoll fold. So you're going to keep a super bend in the knees. So really generous bend in the knees. Reach your arms up. Create a little bit of space too. We want a little space between our legs. So maybe the legs are about shoulder width distance, maybe slightly wider. Big bend in the knees. Think up and over. And then we're going to exhale. Reach past our feet if you can, because the knees are nice and super bent. Let your hands find the floor. And then once your hands have found the floor, hopefully here you're feeling maybe a little stretch in the low back. So see if you can find that and then just make a little extra space for your belly, for your chest. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, walk yourself up and out of that fold. We're going to step the heels a little closer to the body, but lean back a little bit and then take some big giant windshield wipers, just swishing the knees from side to side. Nice. One more swish of the knees side to side. And then we're going to take it into zigzag seat or deer seat. So whatever you like to call it, one leg is in front, one leg is out to the side. So one thigh is internally rotated, one thigh is externally rotated. So find the position with your legs first. And if your hips feel a little uneven, you can like double tuck your mat up under your butt. But once you've got your legs arranged, we're going to walk out. You might feel a stretch in your glute. You might feel a stretch in the side of your hip. If you feel any pain in your knee, you're going to come out of that fold just to the point where you don't feel any pain in your knee. So fold yourself down just to a depth where you feel good sensation. And then once you're there, pause for a moment and take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Come up nice and slow. And before we release this position, we're going to take a little side bend. So the leg that's out to the side, let your hand just touch down onto the ground and then big opening up through the side body. Take a nice big breath. Lift up and we're going to take a little twist and fold. So we're going to wind all the way across to the other side. So you get a little twisted position and then bend your heart forward just a little bit and then bring your heart up just a little bit. Bend your heart forward just a little bit. Bring your heart back up. Do that one more time. Bend your heart forward just a little bit. Bring your heart back up. And now we're going to switch the crisscross of our legs. So now you're going to spin your legs around. So the front leg is externally rotated. The outer leg is internally rotated. Give a second because one side might feel a little different than the other. So make sure it feels like nicely arranged. And then once you're there, walk yourself out to the point where you want to feel something in the hips, maybe the back, but nothing in the knee. So if you feel any shooting pain in the knee, come out a little bit so you lighten up the load on the knee. Awesome. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Keep that zigzag seat, but now reach your hand to the outside leg. Top hand is going to lift up, get a little bit of a side bend. Beautiful. And now we're going to lift, rotate, and turn to the other side. So you're going to rotate so the hands come around the outside of that front leg, and then dip your heart forward just a little bit. Bring your heart back up. Dip your heart forward just a little bit. Bring your heart back up. Dip your heart forward just a little bit. Bring your heart back up, unwind, and we're going to take our legs into a butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. And then once you're there, keep a loose configuration. So no need to force anything down, but find that loose bit of configuration and then just like halfway point. So not even your full range of motion, just go to that halfway midpoint where it feels like maybe you feel a little something in the inner thigh, maybe you feel a little something in the groin. Pause there for a moment, take a breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow, help your legs come together, come all the way up to a standing position. Take your time as you come up. And then we're just going to finish with a nice little forward fold. So inhale, big reach up and overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down towards the ground. It does not matter if you can touch the ground, just fold as far as feels good. Maybe feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the knee, back of the thigh. Pause there for a moment and notice. And if you're not feeling good sensation, think about lifting your sitting bones up towards the sky, not so much about straightening the legs, but lifting the sitting bones upward. Take one more breath. And then bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll your way up to standing. Take your time as you come up. Give your shoulders a little shrug. You guys are amazing. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around, or come down onto the ground right away. Judy's dog had to go get her spay. So that's what we're discussing her dog. All right, so come down to the roller is at the bra line. And then right away, we're going to crisscross our arms and take a nice little gentle rock side to side. I find sometimes when I do this little rock side to side here that I sometimes have to kind of keep climbing my shoulder blades up to keep it in place. So do those little maneuvers that help you find that good work, but you stay in the place that you're trying to get that work happening. And then the next time you roll slightly over to the right, hang out there for a moment. Just let your side of your body get nice and heavy into the roller. All right, and then if it feels good, pick your butt up and do little micro rolls here, maybe like an inch or so up and down. Nice. One more little roll up and down, and then come back through center, switch the cross in your arms, come back to that little rock side to side. Beautiful. Now the next time you rock over to the left, pause for a moment, get heavy on the roller, take a breath. And then if it feels good to do so, lift your butt up just a little bit and do those little micro rolls. So maybe an inch or two. One more roll up and down, and then come back through center. Now hands are going to come behind the head, lean over your roller. Exhale, crunch up. Lean over your roller. Exhale, crunch up. We're going to go 3 more times, but focus on your breath's rhythm. So you're going to inhale as you lean back, exhale as you crunch up. And then on this last one, as you crunch up just a little bit, pick your butt up, and we're going to do that micro roll. So we're going to stay right at that bra line and then go up and down maybe an inch. Beautiful. And then at the top inch of that roll, settle your butt back down, lean over your roller, exhale to crunch up, lean over your roller, exhale to crunch up. Do 3 more, work with your breath's rhythm. Okay, and then on this last one, as you crunch up, lift your butt up, little micro rolls, so just an inch here. Beautiful, and then stay at the top of that inch, lower your butt down, lean over the roller, exhale to crunch up. 4 more just like that, work with your breath. Inhale as you lean over, exhale as you crunch up. On this last one, as you crunch up, lift your butt up, micro roll, just an inch up and down. And then at the top of that inch, stay there, lower your butt down. Now, as we get closer to that top portion of the body, reduce range of motion. So just go where it feels the most comfortable. Lean back over your roller. Exhale to crunch up. On this last one, as you crunch up, stay in that slightly crunched up position, pick up your butt, micro roll just an inch up and down. Beautiful, and then stay at the top of that inch, lower your butt, lean over your roller, exhale to crunch up. And now as we get a little bit higher up, you might find very reduced range of motion. So just go where you have the freedom to move. Beautiful. And then on that next crunch up, stay there, lift up your butt. And now we're going to do big giant rolls. So we're going to go all the way back down to that low bra line area and then all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. Go nice and slow if you can. Take your time here. Super duper slow motion. One more up and down. And then we're going to come up towards the top of the shoulders, lower your butt, take a moment to gently rearrange. So we're going to move that roller so that it's underneath the curve of our neck. So it's in that slightly less supported area. So we're going to take a moment to just go slow here. Once you've got the roller underneath the curve of your neck, you're going to turn your head slightly to the right, just slightly. And then once you've got your head turned just slightly, gently nod your head up and down. Super small micro movements. So nothing big, nothing extreme, and then go slow and mindful as you work here. Wonderful. One more little nod of the head up and down, and then you're going to turn your head to the left, but just slightly. Once you've got your head turned slightly, nod your head up and down, but go slow and mindful. Awesome. One more nod of the head up and down. Bring your head back to center. Now we're going to lift the head up so that we can move the roller underneath that occipital ridge or underneath that ridge of the skull. So get it underneath your head in that stronger structure. And then once you're there, big turns of the head side to side or with as much range of motion as your head and your neck will allow. The next time your head turns to the right, stay there and take some nice, generous nods of the head up and down. So as much range of motion here as feels good. One more nod of the head up and down, and then we're going to turn our head all the way over to the left. Nod the head up and down, as much range of motion here as feels good. Nice. One more nod of the head up and down. And then we're going to roll over onto the right. So we're going to roll all the way across. Now, if you wear glasses, at some points it might feel more comfortable to take them off. So make sure you make those little rearrangements so that you feel good. But we're going to go jaw, side of the cheek and jaw on the roller. And then once you've got your way there, we're going to do little micro turns of the head side to side. One more little micro turn side to side, and then we're going to land on a point and open and close the mouth. One more open and close of the mouth. And then we're going to move on up. So we're going to move about the cheekbone and the ear. Once you've got about the cheekbone and the ear, do little micro turns of the head side to side. And then little micro nods of the head up and down. Awesome. And then we're going to move on up. So we're going to move up to the forehead temple line. Once you've got that forehead temple line, you're going to do little turns of the head side to side. And then little micro nods up and down. And when we do those little micro nods up and down, we do want to feel like the skin and connective tissue is kind of trapped on the roller so that you get that little gliding motion, because we want to keep that tissue in between the skin and the muscle. We want to keep that tissue nice and fluid and nice and moving. All right, one more move of the head up and down, and then move back down to that cheekbone ear area. Turn a little side to side. Nod a little up and down. Pick your head up, move back down to the jaw. Turn your head a little side to side. And then come to stillness, open and close your jaw. One more open and close of the jaw. And then we're going to roll across to the other side. I'm going to flip myself around so I'm facing out, but you roll yourself around in the way that makes the most sense to you. Once you've got your way there, we're going jaw on, take little turns of the head side to side. And then land on a good point and open and close your mouth. Nice. One more open and close of the mouth, and then move it on up to that cheek point. Cheek and ear is the best way to think about it. Once you're there, little turns of the head side to side. And then little nods of the head up and down. All right, and then when you're ready, move on up to that temple and forehead line. Once you're there, a little turn of the head side to side. And then little nods of the head up and down. One more moment here. And then when you're ready, we're moving back down to that ear cheek line. Turn your head a little side to side. Nod your head a little up and down. Move it back down to the jaw. Turn your head a little side to side. Land on a point, open and close your mouth. Nice. One more open and close of the mouth. And then I'm going to roll myself around so that belly facing down. So we're going to think extended child's pose, or big toes together, knees nice and wide. But we want to bring our butt back to our heels, and then we're going to bring the roller in close. Same thing here. We might want our glasses off. So we're going to go for that third eye center, or the space between our eyebrows. So bring the roller nice and close to you. Once you've got that space right between your eyebrows resting on the roller, let everything else rest for a moment. Soften through the back of your body. And then we're going to try to keep that third eye point, or that space between the eyebrow point, connected to the roller. And then you're going to draw little micro circles with your nose, but keep that point of the forehead connected to the roller. One more circle around, and then reverse direction, go the other way. One more circle around, and then we're going to move on up. So we're going to move up the forehead to the hairline. So get as close to the hairline as you can. And then once you're nice and close to the hairline, big, generous rocks of the head side to side. Beautiful. One more big, giant rock of the head side to side. And then lift your head on up. We're going to sit up, spin our legs around, and then kick our legs right up and over the roller. So we move right into the calves. So once you've got your legs up and over the roller, do that nice little walk. Walk it up to the backs of the knees. Walk it down toward your ankles. Okay, now the next time you come down towards your ankles or Achilles tendons, we're going to let the roller rest for a moment, but now we're going to let the toes turn out. So you're going to let your feet turn out just a little bit, and then we're going to do little tiny micro rolls. So we're going to think about finding that outer side edge of your Achilles tendon, and then just roll gently right in that spot. Almost going for like a feather light roll. So nothing extreme. We're not even trying to put any downward pressure or anything. All right, one more little feather light roll, and then we're going to turn the toes in. So pigeon your toes, turn them in, and then little micro rolls there. Same thing, like go for that like feather light movement. Nice. One more little feather light roll there, and then go back to toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Little micro rolls to the Achilles tendon, but go for that feather light feeling again. Beautiful. Now we're going to start to move up the calves an inch at a time, but go for that feather light roll. So walk it up an inch, give a little feather light roll. Walk it up an inch, do that feather light roll. Awesome. Walk it up an inch. Feather light roll. 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 Now for me, my legs are kind of short, so I'm getting a little close to the back of my knee joint. So if your bottom half of your legs are slightly longer than mine, maybe walk up 1 more inch, do that feather light roll. And then once you're getting closer, maybe 1 more inch, feather light roll. And we're getting really close to the backs of the knees now. And then once we get totally to the backs of the knees, we're going to do that feather light roll again, but it's almost like it's barely rolling at all. So you're going to feel a little bit of rock into your butt, a little bit of forward momentum, but we're not trying to put any downward pressure. We just want to feel that nice little bit of tender pressure on the backs of the knees and then lift right back off of it. Beautiful. 1 more little feather light work at the back of the knee, and then lift your kneecaps up. We're going to pop our butt up and over. So sit your butt up onto the roller. And then once you've got your butt up onto the roller, see if you can crisscross your legs into a little bit of a seated Sukhasana, just to find that nice comfortable seat. Make sure it feels comfortable. So if you need to rearrange your legs, do what feels the best to you. We're going to take a light rotation. So you're going to twist to one side, get nice and tall, take a nice big breath. Awesome. Unwind your twist, take it to the other side. Get nice and tall with your inhalation. Unwind your rotation. Either keep your legs like this or you'll rearrange them, but we're going to take right hand. Right hand is going to reach to the back of the neck. You're going to find the muscle that runs along the right side of your cervical spine. You're going to pinch and pull out. So you're going to pinch that muscle and pull it back, like you're pulling it away from your head or away from your nose. So you're going to pinch and pull out, and you're going to work up from the back of the skull down towards the shoulder. So you're going to pinch and pull up, pinch and pull down, but the pinch and pull is a backwards pulling. And all we're trying to do here is kind of loosen up any stiff connective tissue that might be going on in the back of the neck. Take 1 more pinch and pull up and down. Awesome. And then switch hands, move on to the other side. So we're working that muscle group that runs along the cervical spine from the occipital ridge down to where the shoulders are. So pinch and pull up and down. Notice if one side feels a little bit more stiff than the other, or if both sides feel exactly the same. When most of us are not symmetrical, so you may notice one side moves and pinches and pulls out really easy, and the other side might feel like a little bit more dense. All right, 1 more pinch and pull up and down, and then release your hand, release the crisscross of your legs, swing your legs out to a nice wide configuration. And we're going to start with a light roll across. So maybe not going full range of motion, but just kind of tuning in and noticing how your glutes feel. And then once you're noticing how things are feeling, maybe take it in that bigger roll all the way across the side of the glutes and then over to the other side. Lovely. Now, the next time you roll over to the right, stay there, pause for a moment, let your hip get nice and heavy on the roller, almost as if you're trying to like let your whole side body sink down. Take a nice big breath. And then when you feel ready, if it feels good to do so, big rolls up and down. Take a moment here as you roll up and down. Notice if there's any point that feels a little bit more sensational than the other, and then see if you can land on that point. Pause for a moment, get nice and heavy. And then that bottom leg is just going to do a light little flap up and down. Nice. One more flap up and down, and then roll all the way over and across to the other side, and then take it into that big, generous roll up and down. The place where you find sensation might vary, but notice on this side, is there any place that feels a little bit more sensational than the other? See if you can pause on that point for a moment, get nice and heavy, sink down into the roller best you can, and then see how it feels to flap that bottom knee up and down. Nice. One more flap up and down, and then come back through center. We're going to lift the butt up and off the roller, and then we're going to go slightly off to one side. So you're going to lean slightly over to the right. So you're in that soft side body tissue, but then we're going to pick that bottom leg up and do little micro rolls here. But we're going to make sure that the elbow and forearm support, the legs help support. So we're not dropping too much body weight into that unsupported bony structure. So there's not a lot of bones there to help support. So make sure that it feels good. Beautiful. One more little roll up and down, and then take it over to the other side. Slowly and mindfully roll across. Find that sort of low back side body area. So you're a little bit into that soft side body tissue that's unsupported, and then pick your butt up, roll up and down. Nice. One more big roll up and down. And then we're going to come back through center, rearrange the roller so it comes back underneath the shoulder blades. Once you've got it underneath the shoulder blades, hands behind the head to support the head. And then we're going big, generous roll all the way up to the tops of the shoulders, all the way down as far into the low back as you can support. So if you feel like your core is just not working today and you don't feel like you're getting that support in the low back, stay just in the rib cage area. But if it feels okay and you can lock those muscles in so that you don't drop into the low back, go as far down the length of the spine as feels good. Beautiful. One more big up and down, and then set your butt down. We're going to move the roller out from underneath the back of the body, slide it underneath the bend of your knees. Once you've got it underneath the bend of your knees, we're going to pick the butt up, move that roller underneath your hips, pause in that supported hip bridge for a moment, take a couple of nice gentle breaths. If it feels good to do so, little micro windshield wipers with the knees side to side. So as you swish those knees side to side, you may start to feel those front protruding hip bones. That front pocket area might be feeling that little bit of a nice gentle tug. So go only as far as feels good. One more gentle swish of the knees side to side, and then we're going to pull the right knee in towards the chest. Left leg is going to slide nice and long. So left foot, left heel are going to touch down to the ground if it can. Right leg is giving that compression in the front pocket area. Left leg is giving that stress or stretching sensation in that left front pocket area. And then once you've found your way there, just take a nice big breath. One more cycle of breath. And then we switch. Pull the left knee into your chest, let the right leg go long. Now, one side might feel different than the other, and one foot might not touch down to the ground. So just go where your body goes naturally, and then see where can you find a little softness or a little bit of letting go. Stressing or stretching that right front pocket area, compressing the left front pocket area, but the breath is doing the rest of the work for you here. So think about breathing into your rib cage. Beautiful. One last breath. We're going to pull both knees into the chest. Now, if it helps you, hold the roller on the edges just so it feels supported underneath you, but we're going to keep the inner thighs together. Take your knees, draw them in circles, circle in one direction. Take those knees, draw them in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, set your feet down to the ground, press firm into your feet, lift your butt up away from the roller, move the roller out from underneath your hips, slowly lower your back down to the ground, and then pause just for a moment to notice. Awesome. And then we're going to come all the way up to a standing position. So come up in any way that makes the most sense to you. Leave your roller on the ground. And we're going to just finish with a quick soft roll to the bottom of the feet. So once you've got your roller on the ground in your standing position, 1 foot on, 1 foot off, and just a nice little slow motion soft roll through the bottom of your foot. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, set that foot down, switch to the other foot. Same thing on this side. Nice slow motion roll through the bottom of your foot. And you can put as much body weight into it as feels good, but sometimes less is more. Sometimes that feather light touch is just exactly what you need. Awesome. One more roll forward and back, and then set both feet on the ground just to test how the back of the body feels. Take a nice big breath, reach up and overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down toward your roller. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Notice the backs of your legs, notice the back of your body, notice the back of your neck. Amazing. And then when you're ready, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll your way up nice and slow and controlled. You guys are amazing. Be sure to drink plenty of water after doing all of that work.